Hey, welcome to Falmouth Farm. Hey, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But we are getting ready to dehydrate some potatoes. And all I'm doing is taking some potatoes. Let me grab a couple here. And they've already been washed. Cut the ends. And I'm cutting them into, I don't know, about half-inch slices or so. And I have here my handy dandy generic version of the Vidalia onion chop wizard or whatever. Vidalia chop wizard. And it's got two different inserts for blades. I'm using the large dice right now. You just take your fruit, veg, whatever, put in there and slap it down, and it's chopped. And I got a whole. Just look how easy that is, how perfect. Cute little dices. And that's all there is to that. So I have a lot of them here to do. See how quick that is? Oh, it's insane. Okay. And I've been putting them in a bowl. Let me grab my bowl. Okay, well, we have a bowl. And I put water in it to keep them from turning black or brown or gray or whatever it was. And on the stove I have a pot of water, just about to come to a boil. And we're going to pop the potatoes in the boiling water for about 3 minutes or so before we put them on the tray to go in the dehydrator. If you don't do this, your potatoes will turn gray or black or something really nasty, unappealing. It's not going to hurt them, but who wants to eat gray or black potatoes? So, let me catch up with dicing the rest of these potatoes, and we'll get back with you in a minute. Okay, we had to stop because our bowl got full. But what I'm ready to do now is to take a bunch of these cute little potatoes, squares, cubes, diced, not tomatoes, potatoes. Speaking of potatoes, my son has a joke he wants to tell y'all. So you can watch me do this while he tells the joke. Go ahead.
Thanks. A blonde, a brunette, and a redhead all decide to get together and vandalize a farmer's property for fun. So they start going out, running through the cornfield, knocking down crops and pushing over sleeping cows and what have you. And then the farmer comes out and starts chasing them off the property with a gun. And first the brunette runs into a pond and jumps in and is accompanied with a bunch of frogs. So she hides behind, I don't know, some kind of tall grass, and he says, "I saw you run in there. I know you're in there." And then she looks around. She sees a bunch of frogs, so she goes, "Ribbit, ribbit." And he says, "Okay, I guess she's not in here. There's a bunch of frogs." So it continues after the redhead, farther on down the road, and she goes into a barn, and it's filled with a bunch of cows. And so she hides in one of the stables behind a cow, and he says, "I saw you run in here. I know you're in here." So she thinks real quick and looks around and sees cows that she's standing behind, and she goes, "Moo, moo." And he's like, "Okay, maybe she didn't go in here. So it's probably just cows." And so he chases the blonde all the way down, and she comes across a potato factory, and she runs in and jumps in a batch of potatoes, and then he says, "I saw you run in here. I know you're in here for sure." She looks around and sees nothing but potatoes before her, and she thinks to herself and says, "Potato."
Oh, Lordy. All right. Good one. All right. Well, that's a good joke. Thank you. Okay, we'll be back when those potatoes I put in the pot have finished blanching. So we'll be right back. Okay, it's been, I'll say closer to 5 minutes, but my water probably wasn't as hot as it really needed to be anyway, so let that be a lesson to you. Bring it to a full boil before putting your taters in. And I'm going to put them in a colander for now. What I'm going to do is take these over to the sink and run cold water on them. A lot of people say you should use ice water, but it's not necessary. All you want to do is stop the cooking process. So it doesn't have to be ice. Just cold water should be fine. Oh, this is so much fun. Get in there. You don't want to overcook or over blanch the potatoes either, because then they become mush. A little hard to work with. Okay, we'll go over to the sink. Cold water. There we go. Okay, we'll go back over here to the dehydrator tray. And we'll just take them and spread them out. And they don't, again, like so many foods, they don't have to be set out individually. They can lay on top of each other a little bit. And of course, you want to give them as much space as you can if you have the room. But it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to delay anything. Thank you. Just spread them out. You know, I can put a bit more on there, so I want to do another batch in the pot before I put this in the dehydrator. So we'll put more in, and then we'll be back when we're ready to put them all in the dehydrator. Alright, we are putting I am putting the last batch of blanched potatoes on the dehydrator tray. I forget how many this makes, but we'll look here in a minute. Okay.
Potato.
Yeah, okay.
You also go tomato.
Oh, goofy boy. Alright. Slide this in there.
Land of dehydration.
Alright. Woohoo! Oh well.
Eat that.
Oh, here, you eat it. Eat it. There. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trays of diced potatoes. And what I didn't tell you I had in here before is apple slices. Ooh. So I got 2.5 trays of those. But they can go together. Lots of foods can go together. Apple. But don't put onions in there with it. Ugh, onions and garlic. We won't go there. The Excalibur book that came with my Neato toy here says to put it in there for it will take about 8 hours, and that's just a guideline. You know, it could take less, it could take more. It all depends what the weather's like where you're at, how humid the house is, etc., etc. Is it raining that day? So I said put it on 125, and I'll just leave it in there. It's pretty late at night. It's, gee whiz, it's 11:15 at night. So we'll go ahead and go to bed on that one, and we'll come back tomorrow when they're finished. Do you have anything else to say, Mr. Potato Head?
Potato.
Alright, we'll be back tomorrow. Hold on. Wanted to add a quick thing here before we call it a night. The potatoes, as you recall earlier, I didn't peel them. We like our potatoes with the skin still on, so that's fine. As long as they're fresh potatoes, if they're starting to get a little old or soft or what, not going to work out real good. It's going to get kind of hard, tough, leathery, not very palatable. But I started off with 20 pounds of potatoes, and I used, I guess about 15 pounds. A whole bag and a half, so. And these are russet potatoes. Also one of the recommended type of potatoes to dehydrate. So just wanted to toss those couple things in there in case you had any questions about it. I think white potatoes would be fine too. I don't know about, I would imagine just about any kind of potato. I don't know about red, like new potatoes, but I'm going to try it someday and I'll let you know. That's all, and we'll be back tomorrow with our dried food. Bye.
Say bye. Did that work?
Okay, our dehydrator is done, or the potatoes in the dehydrator are done, and let's see how they look. Ooh, crunchy. Those are crisp. It took, I guess it was about 10 hours or so. The book recommended it, or said it would take about 8 hours, but it was about 10. They've been in actually a lot longer than that, but I've been busy, so crunchy. So we're going to go ahead and put these in a mason jar over here. Need to make room. I need a canning funnel. There.
There was one in there.
Well, it was wet. We don't want to introduce any water whatsoever, not even a drop, when you're storing your dehydrated foods, because it kind of destroys the purpose, dehydrating. Anyway. And I can see me setting up here for a big old catastrophe. Well, let's see if we can do it. Well, how about that? Didn't drop a single one. Anyway, I'll go ahead and put the rest in there. And that is how you dehydrate potatoes. That's it. Thank you. Bye.